part of the team here. We not started? With a little delay there, I guess. Internet, I guess the internet is slow today, but you know, glad that just got another commission. We need to do some more of these, Eli. Here with the Empower Network, I want to welcome you all to the Team EmpowerU special training we're doing today, and we've got some great stuff lined up for you. We've got a very, very special guest. You know who he is, who's going to be sharing some stuff with you later. And for those of you who don't know me and my background, I've been with the Empower Network now since November got started. I actually sent Eli a text last night that I just broke 25,000, and today I broke almost 27,000 in income. So it's just starting to go crazy. Came in with no list, came in with no marketing skills online, nothing like that. Just got started, followed the 8 core commitments, and went to Austin. And I can't wait to go to Chicago. Things are just going absolutely crazy right now for the team right now. And I'm just seeing commissions coming left, right, and center. People signing up and joining from all over the world. And that's what's kind of happening for me. And for someone that was used to picking up the phone, 50 times a day, I don't pick this phone up anymore. I need disconnected. I want to be like Dave Wood and not even need a phone. But what I want to do real quick, we've got someone here on the team who's having success. You've always seen her commenting on the EmpowerU on the boards there. Great spirits. I want to ask her a couple questions. This is Linda out in the Midwest. Linda, there's 2 things I want to ask you. The first question, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Awesome. Well, I want to ask you, the first thing I want to ask you is why you got into Empower, and then second, why you're going to Chicago. Go ahead.
Okay. I really like the structure of network marketing. I think that's a great way to do business without having to spend hours and hours and hours of work. My past experience was I was still working hours and hours and hours of work and not getting the response that I needed, the results. And with this, I just saw, even without knowing really anything, when Dave was talking about it, I just saw the structure would be perfect for what I needed, which was it's using the internet, which is basically worldwide, not just the people around you. It's millions and billions of people. And secondly, I can do it whenever, instead of being hooked to the phone or talking to people in the Walmart line. I can just be on the internet. And I'm, at least me personally, I am really good at soft sale. I was good in retail because, people walk in, they're obviously a little interested in what you got. At the dealership I work with, same thing. And I thought, this is soft sell with the structure that I really think is great for business. And then, of course, when Dave's telling you the whole story, you see the success. And I just felt like this is really something I can do without all the headaches of, should I go talk to that person? And I was always on edge because even though I seem outgoing, I am kind of shy, really. I force myself to be outgoing. And so that was always nerve-wracking to me, knowing that I needed to talk to somebody. And so this way I can be relaxed because it's kind of the chicken's way out. You just put it out there on the internet, and then if they like what you got, they respond. And if they don't, they don't. You go on to the next one. So that's why I chose Empower Network, because, and of course now that I'm in it, I just I'm liking it more and more, and knowing that this is the vehicle I will use to make a better life for my family. I can't hear you.
And go ahead and tell us why you can't hear me at all.
I can hear you now.
Go ahead and tell us why you're going to Chicago.
Okay. The money was an issue. We got a really tight budget, and I wasn't sure if I could, but I knew I wanted to. Well, first of all, anybody who sees any video that the Daves put out starts off with a short blurb of stuff going on at an event. So you cannot watch that and not know that magical things happen when you go to an event. And so, and I just kind of felt, even Greg, before you told me, wait till you get to Chicago, things will really, explode for you. I already knew that just by looking at the videos, since I do my 8 core commitments, look at the videos, watch, and listen to the audio. I just knew that I was going to get so much more information by going there. And of course, being in a group where everybody has the same goal and using the same vehicle has got to have power. So I did what it took. I got my ticket, and I figured I can drive there, so that's not too bad, although gas is a little expensive. But I can get there by driving, and then actually, even though it's going to be tight on my budget, I wanted to stay in a hotel that was close, that was one of the Empower Network chosen hotels, because I knew the stuff that goes on even after the what do I want to say, the Empower Network stuff, when you're out in the hall and you're talking to leaders and you're listening to other people's stories, that's a learning process in itself. So I wanted to be where everybody else was too, as opposed to, my brother lives in Chicago, so I could stay with him for free, but I'd have to drive downtown every day, and I'd miss all that extra stuff that comes along with just meeting people in the hallway. So
Right.
that's why I'm going. And
Linda, what would you say to someone, let's say they just got started, they've been in maybe 2 or 3 months, or maybe they got started last week. What would you say to them about getting to Chicago?
I would say that that is probably the most important thing you need to do right now. If your budget is tight even, forego the paid marketing, do free marketing, and blog every day and go wherever it's free and save those pennies for Chicago. You can always do paid marketing after Chicago once you, get recovered from that expense. But whatever it takes, pool your money. In fact, I'm even selling some stuff on eBay just to get some money together to make sure that I have enough, cash and things like that. You do whatever it takes, because I just feel in my bones that this is not only the vehicle that's going to work for me, but Chicago's going to be the catalyst to catapult my growth. So you just got, and Dave says it over and over, do what it takes. Do what it takes to grow your business. Do what it takes to get the money together for getting to the next step, like the 15K or Costa Rica, and do what it takes to get to Chicago. That's the first step.
Right. Well, and the interesting part is we've all been in that situation. I mean, I remember a time when, I needed to get to an event, and I just couldn't get there because I just didn't have the time, or, not the time, I didn't have the money, and I had to figure out how to get there. So we've all kind of been in that situation, but what I'll tell you is that it has changed my whole career in the network marketing industry. Being my first event catapulted me to earning over $1 million in this industry, over the last 10, 12 years, multiple 7 figures from the comfort of my home, and that's because of so I tell everybody to get there, do what it takes, and here's the thing. Let me just close my window here. I got some kids playing outside. I don't know if you can hear them. Out on the street there. What I'd ask everybody right now, how many of you have gone through the 8 core commitments today, right? I mean, what's easy to do is easy not to do. It's easy to blog. I just heard a voice, but it's easy not to blog. It's easy to read 10 pages of a good book, but it's easy not to. Remember, all these little things add up, and it's the little things that you do over and over and over again. So listen, if you haven't done the 8 core commitments for the last 2 weeks, you know what? You can return the page, you can draw a line in the sand, and you can say, listen, I'm going to go the next 90 days, I'm going to do these 8 core commitments. Guess what the 8 core commitments did for me? Okay? I did that starting November, And now this thing's paying me, I don't know, I could end the month with 15,000. I mean, it's nuts. And Jan was 3,240, and then Fab, you know, it was closer to 7 or 8, and it's just going crazy. But obviously, there are skills and things that we want to teach you and help you to learn because you're part of this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring on one of my mentors, someone that I've known for probably 8 or 9 years. Last time I saw him was out in Austin, Texas, and man, the things that were going on at that event were just absolutely amazing. You got to get to Chicago. Eli, master online marketer, guy who knows what he's doing here, the person that I call up at 1 in the morning California time, and he's up at 4 a.m. putting our team site together in Florida. Good friend, Mr. Eli Gonzalez. Eli, are you there?
I am. I'm back, right? Okay, there we go. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Greg, Linda, it's wonderful to be here. Been pulling my hairs out all evening, and I'm glad to finally get here and be able to do this this training. I listened to some of the stuff that was going on, but I had some fires to put out, so it sounded like you found the reason and you found a way to get to the event, Linda, right?
Yes.
And there you go, another phone. Anyway,
It's the bat phone.
yeah, there you go. Let me see if I can do here. Audience. I'll take some questions later, so I wanted to have that open over here. If you guys can mute yourself, that way, you know, it seems like the bandwidths are really slow today. So I'm going to actually change over from this and go over to my screen anyway. So let me close that off. And just want to make sure that you guys can see my screen. If anybody can say anything.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, good. Let's see. And I had to reboot the computer earlier, so I have to look for all this stuff again. Quick training, inner circle. You know what? There's one. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with something a little different because I think we talked about doing one particular kind of marketing today, and let me close this off. And basically, I wanted to make sure that all of us were in the same page. You know, starting out with my story a little bit in the background. You know, I've owned my own business for a long time, you know, over 25 years, and somewhere around, I don't know, close to 12, 14 years ago, I came across somebody that I trusted that, you know, brought up the idea of actually having a home-based business versus a brick-and-mortar business with an office and things like that, like I had, and that appealed to me. So I actually went into that as brand new, sort of like maybe some of you guys have started with Empower Network, but it wasn't this kind of setup. It was actually something that was a lot harder, to say the least, as far as what we expect from network marketing or MLM. It's a little different here in Empower Network, isn't it? It's a lot more money to be made, a lot quicker. So you actually have one step above what we started with, or what I started with. But you know, in the process of doing traditional network marketing, I found, you know, what most people find. You know, after being told that you know, if you can find 5 people that find 5 people that find 5 people, and the numbers look awesome by the time it gets to the 8th level, you know, you're only making like 1% on the 8th level, but you're talking, you know, $30,000 a month. So when you do the numbers, you're looking at $5,000, 5,000 to 10,000 people just to make $10,000 a month. It didn't dawn on me then, but dawned on me later how big of a task that was. Especially when I found out, you know, hey, in my first month I got my 5 people, and guess what? Not one of them worked. Not one of them. And so, you know, that sort of disillusioned me after a while, because you burn through your friends and family, and all of a sudden you're looking for somebody else to talk to. And I was told all kinds of different things, from putting little signs out by the street. I went to this guy. He made me about 300 signs for about $300, and it just, it said we were doing a new program back then at the time that it was video email. So it says new video email. Want to make money from home, and then on a website. And I put those all over the place, all over Lee County, and Fort Myers and Naples and everywhere around here. And guess what? I got like 2 or 3 people that put in their information. Every time I called them, they said, "Oh no, I just saw the sign on the side of the road, and I was interested, was wondering what that was about. That's it." So I learned very quickly that a lot of the techniques that they tell you don't really work for the person. And if you have a big group of people doing it and they're working below you, then it works for you. If you have 1,000 people putting out those signs, if you have 1,000 people going out to Walmart and putting a bunch of flyers out, if you have a bunch of people passing out business cards, at the gas station, or putting them up at the Panera Bread's little pinboard in the back, somewhere along the way, one of those people gets lucky and gets a sale. And, if you have thousands of people, then you get, a few sales every month. That's not practical for the average person. So after doing that for a while, then, I started getting some training on how to talk on the phone and things like that. And got this training with this guy that seemed like he knew what he was doing. And he said, to go out there and find this list of companies that are network marketing companies that have been defunct, that went out of business. And sometimes you can get a hold of these lists of everybody that was in that company and call those people because they've already shown interest. They're the right target people that have already been in network marketing, and they show that they want to work from home and things like that, so you don't have to go through all the negative stuff. So it sounded awesome until you start calling these lists. Literally making about 50 calls an hour just to get maybe 1 or 2 people that would tell you off on the phone, and do that for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and days and days and days and get no results. So it's like, oh no, wait a second. There has to be a better way to do this. There's people making money here. I feel like I knew what I was doing before I started. I looked at some of these guys. It's like they didn't look like they knew how to tie their shoe. And here I am, running a 20-year-old company at the time, or whatever it was, 15-year-old's company at the time. And, I can run that. Why can't I do this? So anyway, that led me to start going to seminars. And, and actually I went to and joined a bunch of different companies. I joined like 12 different companies, not because I wanted to do business with them exactly. It was more like a research thing. I went ahead and tried all these different companies and went to their meetings, and went to their Super Saturdays, went to their hotel meetings, and actually flew, or some of them actually we got flown in because to actually see their headquarters and things like that. But what I was more interested in was their training. It's like, what are they training on? And what I found is that across the board in network marketing, almost everybody's doing the same kind of training. Go write your list. Talk to your friends and family, and when you're done with that, the next thing was actually to learn how to talk to people on the phone. That was the new thing at the time. So I said, well, great, okay. I already done that, but they were talking about getting leads, generic leads off the internet. These companies were selling leads, live leads. You could actually, as soon as a person puts in their name, phone number, and email, you get an email telling you that person's name, phone number, and email, and they're supposedly interested in network marketing or working from home or whatever. So I started doing that, and I started learning how to talk to people, because it's not your normal thing when you talk cold calling. That's what they call it. It's a little different. You got to talk to them in a little different way. So I started taking trainings for that. And long story short, you find that same idea. You're talking, making 50 phone calls to talk one person an hour, and then that person tells you how they don't remember anything do anything about a business. Come to find out, a lot of these leads that you buy for $3 a pop, and you're talking, buying 100 of those a month easy, so that's $300. it turns out that they're actually, maybe they bought an iPod. And after they buy an iPod, they were actually being asked, hey, well, are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? And one of the things that they might be interested in, that they checked yes, just very quickly, that they might be interested in working from home. So you get this lead that's not really interested in working from home. Some of them are actually not even going to into business. They just want to work from home, like as an employee of somebody's. So you're wasting all this time and wasting a lot of money doing a lot of things that didn't make any sense to me. So what ended up happening was that I actually came across somebody that said, hey, you know, somebody, I mean, and I'm not talking just somebody. I mean, a lot of people that because I've been in the industry that long at that time, I got to know a lot of top leaders, you know, in the industry. So I started finding out what different people were doing, and come to find out, a lot of people that were on the top, you know, they weren't just doing network marketing. You know, in order to do network marketing, they're spending literally maybe, you know, 40, 60, 80 hours a week trying to do their business. And it was either, you know, on the phone calls doing 3-ways all day long, or going and setting up meetings at people's homes and doing home parties and going to all these other, you know, hotel meetings, all kinds of things. And I started thinking, I was like, you know, you're supposed to be working from home so you would have more time to be home, right? And all these people that are making money, that's the last thing that they have. You know, they're making 6 figures a year, but, you know, I was making 6 figures a year, and I was working less than they were on my regular business. Why would I want to get into that? So I was getting a little turned off to the whole network marketing idea, and I talked to this guy that, you know, told me about how a lot of people are going online and creating their own leads, and they're much higher quality leads that would actually buy from you, because it's not just somebody that you know, that you're calling that was tired of network marketing, or somebody that filled out a generic form. These are actually leads that are looking to do something, and they're following you to actually do something with you. So that attracted me, and then they gave me you know, the name of the person. They just said, yeah, go Google him and check out his training. So that's what I did. I actually went in there. Hey, Greg, can you mute your microphone? I hear a lot of background. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop this for a second. I just want to see if I can I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I'm gonna go ahead and try to mute his phone from here. There we go. Actually, I guess it was Linda's, but and sometimes it's not even the actual microphone. It's actually, sometimes it's just the bandwidth, and you start hearing like a train going through the background, and it's just not catching up. So I'm going to turn that off. So maybe I'm the only one hearing it, but now it's out of my ears, so I can keep on concentrating on what I was going to say. So anyway, that was a little bit of my background. So I've gone through every process of, you know, doing the belly to belly. We even do it. Actually, when I first met Greg, we were doing some ads on magazines, and actually that didn't work too bad. You know, that was a little bit better quality lead that you were getting from there, and Greg and I, you know, got together and actually made some money the hard way. It was after that experience, the company that we were with actually decided to change their comp plan all of a sudden, and we had grown from like 0 to 30,000 people in 6 months, and all of a sudden they wanted to change the comp plan and take almost everybody, 90% of the company's payroll away. So that didn't work. Everybody went away, and it was like very sad situation again. And that's when I decided that you needed to take more control of the business. You needed to find out how to attract people in an easy manner, that you didn't have to be on the phone all day long. You didn't have to be, you know, calling, 3-way calling with leaders, or in case, you know, if you have a downline and they're calling you and you're having to be on the phone all the time. You're having dinner, you got to step away from dinner and start talking to people. You're over in Disney and you got to step away from the family and talk to people. It wasn't the way that I wanted to do business. I knew that, you know, the way that I run my business, I was attracting people to me. People were referring me, and I wanted to have a similar type of business. It was instead of me calling and having, think of a company that has a boiler room and has a bunch of people calling out to try to get a sale, versus a company that people call them because they've heard that they're a good company to work with, so that they're calling you instead of you calling them. And that's the situation that I have with my regular company, that people were actually calling me, from referrals and things like that. And I like that kind of business better than calling out, I guess, in the long and the short of it. So finding out that they had this thing called attraction marketing, which is basically what I was doing offline. I had no idea what attraction marketing was about. But that's what I was going to go over with you tonight. Before we get into the actual training of the marketings that we do here and how we do it, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just make this big so you guys can see it. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully you guys can see that whole thing in the screen here. And I'm just going to go step by step on here. And, why are we here? Why as business owners, as somebody that we want, as somebody that wants to get their business going, what's going on? And this is basically the first part here is what most people are going through. Even top leaders in the network marketing industry or home-based business industry, they're struggling. They're struggling to either get a check, or they're struggling just even though they're making money, because they're just spending way too much time. And a lot of it is because of this second thing, attrition. You get your group going, and and then people start dropping off, and you're just get to the point that you're basically have a bucket with a hole at the bottom. So you're trying to see how much work you can do to keep the people that are in, and at the same time, if people are going out, you got to refill their spot too. So you're always working, and basically, the consistency to growth wasn't there. You get your business sort of grows. It sort of grows like I don't know. It goes straight up when you're actually doing something right. Then it stagnates, and then it starts to drop. So it's almost like a U, an upside down U. And every business, every leader out there that's been doing this for a while gets to see that. It's like it grows and then it goes down, and then you got to make it grow again, and then it goes down again. And it was all these U's, on the curve. So that's the problem that people are growing with, and that happens a lot even in regular businesses. They just don't have the consistency to be able to keep on growing their business. And if you're a small business owner, or most of the small business owners are specialists. Think attorneys, real estate agents, doctors of every kind. They are all very specialized in their business. You might be somebody that owns a bike shop. Very specialized stuff. Well, they specialize on that, don't they? And then they have you have your retail store, which you have to focus on the actual other things, like providing service for your customer, the quality of the product that you're putting out. Then you have your customer service that you have to worry about. If you're a restaurant, you have to worry about the quality of the food, the people that are serving, the people that are cooking for you. There's a lot of stuff to take care of. If you're in sales, then you have to, go out there and making the sale. Well, guess what? You're doing all this work, and whether you're in a home-based business or a small business owner, you end up that marketing becomes a second thing, a second activity. And guess what? Without marketing, a business dies. So, it's better to have a marketing plan where people are actually attracted to you, and you don't have to worry about the marketing as much in the long run, because people are actually calling you all the time, and you're not having to go out there and create all these marketing funnels and such. So, the next thing was, the people were trying to do was actually do some kind of mass marketing, because you don't have a lot of time, so let's put ads on the newspaper, let's put out in the magazines, let's maybe go ahead and build up a room and have telemarketing people calling out, buy commercial ads and radio ads, and all that stuff sounds great, but there's a lot of drawbacks to that. There's a lot of competition. Not so much newspapers these days. Magazine ads somewhat. Telemarketing has gone down by the wayside because the do not call list, and then commercial on radio and commercial on TV is very expensive, and all of this stuff is very difficult to track to see if it's actually working for you. You can actually be putting out there thousands of dollars every month and not know whether something's coming back to you. Unless your business is dead, then you know that it's not working. But this is where a lot of businesses are, whether they're home-based or not. They're trying to do a lot of things out there. Maybe they're not doing the newspaper out of the magazine ads, but if you're going out there and buying somebody to pay to print you some flyers, and you go out there and pass them out at Walmart or at your grocery store before you get kicked out, you might put 100 of those out, and how many people actually call you back, and you spend a couple hours doing this and nothing's coming back. I actually did that with my brick and mortar at one time just to see what it would happen, and I found out that I would have to put about 200 ads out, spend about 2.5 hours doing that just to get a $150 sale back to the business. It wasn't working for me. So anyway, what most people end up doing is actually finding some kind of targeted marketing, like direct response marketing, direct mail pieces, and that's actually some of the stuff that worked for us in the beginning, both for my regular business and for my home-based business. Direct mail pieces could include a magazine that's directly targeted to the right people. That's what you're trying to do. You actually can track this kind of marketing because you're directing it to so many people, and they're making so much money. They live in a certain amount of home, a certain level of home that you're looking for. Somebody that lives in a $500,000 to $1 million home. You can actually just target those people if you want to, and you can actually personalize what you're going to say to those people because you know what they like and things like that. But again, when you're talking anything to do with paper, anything to do with mailings, it's very expensive. Then you have to worry about fulfilling anything that you're shipping out back to them or anything else that you might have, with paper, packing, shipping. Fulfillment companies can do a lot of that stuff for you, but they're expensive. And, then you have a lot of different areas that might be a little too competitive to be, spending that kind of money. And of course, for the longest time, how many ways can people send mail to you that you don't consider junk mail? After a while, you just don't even look at the junk mail. So the numbers kept on dropping and dropping as far as return on investment on a lot of the stuff. So along comes, the next thing, online marketing. And this is where the whole thing changed a little bit because you were able to do a lot of the targeted stuff that you can do with direct marketing, like sending somebody that you knew that had money, and didn't not have a pool, but they lived in an area that had 50% of people had pools. You can send out a flyer and say, "Hey, would you like to pool?" You knew that you had a better chance for them to be able to buy your product. The same thing happens online now. And you can actually be very targeted and actually have people that actually want what you're looking for because they're actually telling you that they want that, as we'll learn a little bit down the road. It's real time. You can actually have all kinds of tracking and adjustments made on the fly. You can actually put a ton of marketing out and track it and see what's working and what's not, and the stuff that's not working, shut it off, and the stuff that's working, make it bigger. So, it attracted a lot of people that wanted a little more control on their business. And the same thing, had low startup cost. As you can see, with our business, it's only $25 a month. If you talk about, the actual business side, another $20 a month, that's $45 a month. That's chump change for most business owners. Automated and leveraged, that you can actually automate a lot of these processes. We're going to talk about some of the stuff we talked about last week. Some of the stuff that we can do. Then we're going to talk about some other stuff we can do this week, and next week I'm going to show you another section. But all of this stuff, after you get good at it and you start making money and you see what's working, what's not, you can actually semi-automate almost everything that's online, and actually get your time back. which is what we're talking about, because you could be working left and right and making money, but what we want, especially as online marketers, is to be able to make that money, but also have the time. And in the beginning, if you listen to David Wood and David Sharp, everybody works hard. Everybody works hard in the beginning, because you have to learn. You have a learning curve that you have to worry about, and things like that. That you just got to learn new stuff. So it takes a little longer to get going. But once you get it going, you can actually have an automated system that takes care of a lot of the things, and you get to actually, when you talk about scalable, you can actually put money back into your business and actually make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger in a very short period of time, actually. At the same time, you might still have word of mouth. You still have, it's still networking somewhat. You might talk to people about what you're doing, but it enhances it tenfold, I think, or more, 100-fold, because you can do it a lot quicker. And you can actually do a lot of word of mouth with the social media these days, to the point that it just blows out anything that you could have done, belly to belly, locally here. Well, there's some drawbacks like anything else. There's, like I said, there's a lot of time and effort to set up the thing, and there is going to be some maintenance. And the maintenance, like I said, you could automate a lot of the things that we have that you're going to be learning about. Effort, well, effort applies to everything online in life. You could even do it. You have to even show some effort sometimes to look for the remote to be able to change the channel, doesn't it? So, no matter what you're doing, there's going to be some effort. Obviously, if you're talking about creating a big business, you're going to have to put some effort into it. Now that we got to that, since we're going to be talking about money and things like that, I don't know if Greg did that in the beginning, because I wasn't listening the first 5 minutes or so. But, we are offering a business here where some people might or might not make money. And because you're listening to this call, you might learn some techniques that might make you money, and you might not make any money at all, or you might even lose money. And it all depends on you, on how you use them, and your background, and how much you're willing to learn, and how much you're willing to put into it. So just because we're saying all this stuff, doesn't mean you're gonna make money. But the stuff that we are going to be teaching you comes from people that actually have made money with it. Almost every technique that I teach, I can't think of one that I have not used. So it's not something that I'm just telling you that to use without knowing how it works and what it can do for you. But it's up to you to put all these things into play, and maybe even do some more research if you have to, because we're not going to cover every little detail about every little thing here. There's just no way to do that in an hour and a half. So that being said, money varies because of that. Because some people can put some really cool things together, just the way they speak, just the audience that they're speaking to, and other people might decide to talk about something else. I mean, like we talked about this a few weeks ago, how we have a blogging system. You can blog about flowers and gardening if you want, or you can talk about business, or you can talk about real estate. Each one of those is going to attract different kind of people, and different kind of people that have varying amounts of money or interest in working from home. So each one of those things is going to change what kind of money you're going to attract. But like we said, with the low startup cost, the automated systems, it makes it very attractive for the average person. So this is what the pillars of attraction marketing were based on. And basically, branding you, Inc. is the idea. A lot of people talk about that. Instead of branding your product or your company that you might be representing, a lot of people start talking about attracting people to you, which is great in the long run, and we'll go over that a little bit later on. But basically, part of building your attraction marketing system, you're going to have a subscriber base. You're actually going to have people that actually are going to opt in to your email, and because you're going to be able to do newsletters or send them to your blog every day, or different things like that, you're going to be able to educate them, add value to your subscribers. They're going to start trusting you. Your credibility is going to go through the roof. You're going to be able to automate a lot of the processes, and the system itself will do the grunt work instead of you calling a bunch of people. In our system, we have David Wood and David Sharp and doing a sales video that actually takes care of telling them story and telling them, what our business is about, and they buy automatically. You know how much time that saves me? I mean, think about, Greg is probably going to end up with 10 sales today, okay? Or more, actually. He might be up to past 10 sales already, because I've seen at least two people come up. So that's every 5. So he's done at least 10. Think about how much time that would take. If you were doing a presentation with each one of those people every day, you're talking hour and a half per person. You don't have enough times in the day to bring in 10 people with belly-to-belly transactions. With this system, we can't, because those internet tools that we have are going to be doing it for us. Then, of course, we can track some of the things to see where the money's coming from and perfect that money system. You basically, that's what you're creating. You find the places that people are hanging out that want to buy from you. And once you find those people, then you actually get rid of the stuff that's not working and concentrate your time and effort and money into the places and systems that you put in place that actually bring you money. And we used to talk a lot about self-funded proposals, like we talked about here. That's basically the idea of that the marketing itself pays for itself. With Empower Network, it's a unique situation where the funded proposal, the $25 a month that you get for selling it, it actually starts out earning whatever you can spend. It just, unless you want to spend it all. But most people, what you end up doing is spending 20% of your earnings back into your marketing, and the rest of it you get to keep, and it actually makes it grow very, very quickly, just into a 20%. Of course, some of the top leaders, to get to where they're at, they might have spent as much as 50%. But basically, that's the idea. You're putting some back, but because the self-funded proposal, having that $25 a month coming in, it actually gives you every month a little bit more to put back into the system as your team grows and as you get more customers. Anyway, basically the idea behind this whole system is to actually attract people to you rather than having to have people call you out. And I was just talking to Linda actually a little bit before the call, and talking to her about how it used to be. You had to be going out there and creating all this stuff, creating the sales funnels, creating the lead capture pages, creating the messages that we're going to see before and after the lead capture page. Then you got to create a product that they wanted to buy. You had to create free products that they wanted to buy. You had to create different levels of product that you wanted to buy. Sort of like we have here, the $25, the $100, the $500, the $1,000, and the $3,500. Well, you had to create all that by yourself. Then you had to create the sales video or sales letter, which they're similar. One's a video, and the other one you actually read. But you had to create all that in a way that it was attractive and people wanted to buy. There was a lot to learn. It's amazing all the stuff that goes away when you're with an Empower Network. All you're really doing is learning how to market, and a little bit, on the marketing side, as far as how to say, what to say in an ad, things like that. A little bit on that, and a lot of content. And the content is the big thing. If you don't have a lot of money to spend, then you spend a lot of time in creating content. If you don't have if you have some money, then you create some content and spend the money to be able to attract the leads and let them go through the funnel. So basically, this is and hopefully you guys can see this. This is I'm gonna have to make it smaller. This is a marketing pipeline, let's say. There's a bunch of people, literally millions and millions of people online. Just think about, just on Facebook alone, I think it's close to 1 billion people. And so there is a big pile of people that are searching for resources that you might have to offer. And, out of 1 billion people, say 15 million or 20 million would like to blog, in the world. That's a big cloud, to go through. And what you do, you actually can identify those people because of where they hang out these days. It's amazing how much easier it is. You had to actually use a lot of pay-per-click campaigns with Google, doing different searches and trying to figure out what searches they're looking for so that you can put an ad in front of them and try to make a sale. These days, people tell you what they like. You go to Facebook, and Facebook allows you to market with them, and people tell you exactly what company they like, what products they like, where they like to go to dinner, where they like to go to, on vacations. You have a lot of information. So you identify those people that might be interested in your product or service, and then you put them through the funnel. And you actually, as you capture the leads that are going through the funnel, well, those people, you can actually create that trust by sending those emails, sending them videos, things like that, sending them over to your blog where you have all this content that's helpful to them. And out of those people, that go through both the funnel, you get to grow your trust with them, and they get to see the sales video or sales page. Then you get to create a sale for the product or service that we have. That's basically what you do. It's basically the system takes care of it for you. And this is basically the idea of the circle of marketing that we create. We got to do some of these ads and promotions over here. We have a lead capture page where people either buy or they stick around, and then they start getting our newsletters or our emails. And there's because we have their contact information, and from that lead capture page, we can actually build a relationship with them. And as we build that relationship with them, well, that leads to back-end sales. But we have basically that relationship is built by the stuff that we have on our blog, by being able to send them there. Now, the neat thing about our system is that we have both ends. We can actually add some promotion that go to a lead capture page, or we can actually promote, and that's the training that we did last week, we can actually promote our actual content. Being your blog post or your videos and things like that, and people go there. And because we have a lead capture page, by having a little ad promotions around your let me show you that in case you guys haven't noticed that. Our network / when you get to the blog, it's actual, the marketing is there built for you. This thing right here, the way it changes every time you go over it. Same thing with the video here with the little arrow. That's marketing built for you, and they already have the copy, that attracts them to click on it. And basically, that's the same thing. What we're talking about here is maybe a little dry the way I'm putting it, but basically those ads that are either on your blog, or if you create an ad on a pay-per-click campaign with Facebook, it takes them over to a lead capture. And basically, if they click on here, that ad takes them to the lead capture, that takes them to the sales video. But now that you have their email, you can contact them over and over again. And that's the simple part of how simple it can be. It's just you can either put money into ads or put time, which is money also, into creating the content like a video post or a blog post by typing it out. And both of those things cost a little bit of time or money. And with that come the ads that they're actually going to click on, that takes them over to the lead capture page, that create a sale or not. Either way, you got their information to be able to create that relationship with them that might create sales in the back end. That's the formula that we're using here. Now, in order to do that, we have to have some marketing techniques. And tonight's about creating some little bit of the step-by-step of what those techniques might be. Tell you what, since I've taken this for a little bit, Greg, I'm going to unmute you here, and maybe I'll take on some of the questions that if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them into your little thing here. First of all, does anybody have any questions? Just raise your hand. See the little hand that's on the top there. No, no questions yet. Oh, there we go. Sakai, I'm going to unmute you. If you have a microphone, just know that I'm going to unmute you right now, and then we can talk. If not, you can type the question. And hi, this is Eli. Can you hear me? Sakaya. Maybe I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Sorry. There it is. Okay. Let's see. You just type. Okay, so you're trying to change your picture on your blog. For some reason, it can't seem to get changed. I uploaded the image of myself. I actually have a training for that. It goes. I believe it goes a step by step. It depends on what picture you're talking about, but it actually has it on the Fast Start training that we have on our blog, on our team site. I'm sorry. So if you go to your team site, Team ImpowerU. Oops. Let me show you this real quick so that you can look for it. In the Start Here button, you can actually, there's several pages. This is how to get to the first page. Is if you just click on it, it takes you to how to get your Empower Network blog. But if you go to blog setup, and it actually tells you right here, step 2, how to create a blog and a custom header picture for this picture right here, or how to do your bio picture, which that's misspelled. We'll change later. And that's on step 3 right here. So you can take a look at those, okay? Anybody else have a question? Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go to the second part of the training now. Greg, anything else that I might have missed that you might want me to cover?
Yeah, man, it's actually at 12 sales right now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Sorry, I knew I took a couple away from you.
And it doesn't seem to be stopping, but you know, I'll just test what you're saying, man. It's all just going through what you're going through, what you're, you know, the information that you're going through now. Go slow to go fast. And what I mean by that is slow down to smell the roses, right? Don't expect to make your first sale your first night, even though some people do, but it takes time to learn these new skills, and it is a business, right? So give it some time, build it up. Remember, it's a business, and it does take time. And if you do those little things, it's like a big building, Eli. You know, you always hear about a big building come up, and you go there, and they're working on the foundation forever, right? And then all of a sudden, the building comes up like 2 days later, it seems like, right? That's because they're building their foundation. So for everybody that's watching this, I'm going to pass it back to Eli. Take notes, 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 notes. Go through it until, that means keep doing it until you get the results. Back to you, my friend.
Yeah, and it's
Good
funny.
job, by the way.
Oh, thank you. There's actually a lot of buildings that they put up around here like that they actually made out of concrete somewhere else. So they put a lot of time away from where you don't see anything going on. And all of a sudden they bring all this stuff in, they prop it up. In a day, the whole building's done. It's amazing when they do that kind of stuff. And that's the same thing here. A lot of times you hear about overnight success, and it's really not overnight. If you look at the background of those persons, there might be 5, 10 years of a lot of prep work that may not be related to exactly what they're doing here, but they have it. And sometimes different people come to, you know, to the show with different belief systems, different even the different gifts, you know, that they don't have to work so hard at certain things and others. But almost everything that we do can be learned and can be perfected as you go. And I love that, you know, earn as you earn idea, because it can be done here very easily. Well, you know, the first thing that we want to talk about tonight on the step-by-step marketing training is, you know, the very first thing on any marketing campaign that you do is research. It doesn't matter if you're a multi-million-dollar company doing an ad for Coca-Cola, you know, or you're, you know, a grandma sitting, you know, at her computer, you know, trying to sell somebody a blog. It's the same thing. You want to do some research. So anyway, the research is basically you're trying to find out what your prospect wants. So you got to figure out what your perfect customer is, what their perfect customer looks like. Some people call it an avatar, and it's basically what does that perfect customer look like, what do they want, what age group are they in, are they male, female, all these other things that you want to find out ahead of time, what these things are for you, what you're trying to attract. So when you do that, then you can create your content, to suit their needs. And that's basically what you're doing. When you're creating, writing a post, making a video, or just making an audio, all these things somebody needs to want to see them. This is what I'm trying to get at. If you don't know your customer, you might be writing about something that they don't care about. They're not going to ever read it, or they're not going to ever watch your video. So you got to find out what their wants and needs are. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go along. The second thing that you need to do after the research is actually track what you're doing. And there's all kinds of ways to do it. With our blogs, we can actually do the Google Analytics, which I think we need to do a little training on that. But Google has a lot of training on that. If you just Google, let me see. And you don't really need to do this right away until you start getting some real traffic. It's not even worth doing. But you can go to Google and just say Google Analytics, and you can see it comes up. And actually, our blog is set up so that you can actually take the little code that you get from Google here and put it on the back of your blog, and you can actually see how many people are coming every day, how much time they're spending, how many pages they're looking at. So you can actually track a lot of that stuff. The other thing that you can do is actually, use other things. I personally use HyperTracker to track a lot of anything that I have any paid ads on, or anything that I just want to track. If I put something out there and I want to track it, HyperTracker can tell me how many times it's been clicked and how many actions people took, once they clicked it. Same thing if you have Aweber and things like that. They have a lot of things that you can actually see how many people opened your email, how many people are, how many times they clicked on the link that you put on the email. All that stuff tells you stuff. It tells you whether your stuff is working or not. So you want to track everything. One of the things that we talked about last week was Bitly. And Bitly is amazing because it's free. So is Google Analytics, but that's a little more technical. Bitly is pretty easy. You just put a link, put it into Bitly. It gives you a short link, and you put that short link wherever you want to send people. You just put that short link on there, and you can actually see how many people have actually clicked on it. So if you create an article and then you post it somewhere else, say Facebook or I don't know, Google Plus or whatever, or Twitter, you'll be able to see how many people actually clicked on it to see more about it. And if you see people clicking on it and you're not getting any sales, then you know that what you wrote wasn't great. If you're not getting any clicks, maybe what you wrote on your title wasn't great and people are not clicking on it. So all this tracking, you can actually fine-tune your marketing because you're tracking it and see what's working, what's not. So, the first thing you want to do is after you find out what people want, you're going to create a post. And that's what Empower Network comes in. You're actually going to create a post about what they're looking for, and what should be on your blog. It's up to you, really. You can write it as a story of your life. You can, hey, this is my story about marketing and how I started in marketing and how things are progressing. These are the things that I'm doing. Some people are actually attracted to that kind of marketing, that kind of a story. So, if you want to talk about your life, you can. You can put pictures on it. I would say you definitely want to put pictures on it. Any more people don't like just having text to read. If you have some pictures that have to do with what you're writing about, it just, breaks the monotonous of just having text. And it's more attractive for most people to read. Obviously, testimonials of people that you're helping, if you can have that. It's nice to have that on your blog too. And, helpful hints. As you learn your marketing, you don't want to give everything away. The idea of marketing is just to give just enough away for people to trust you so that they'll actually buy your product. So, we are marketers here. We're not just, we're not going to be here doing this for nothing, and we're not going to do it, for free. The idea is for people to buy. And if you're not that kind of person that wants to sell something, you're in the wrong business, or you're doing this, for charity. You want people to buy, so you don't want to give everything away. when you're giving hints, you give, the simple hints, and you're actually giving away free stuff because so it has to be good hints. It can't be junk hints, but you can't give the whole thing away when you're doing that. In order to know all of this stuff, of course, there's research to be done again. So, you want to know what the marketer wants, like we do. But then once you learn what they want, then you can put it in different forms. That's the nice thing about it. You can actually, somebody wants lead. Well, so they can actually have somebody to talk to so that they can buy the product. Well, you can put something like, how to get better leads, or, you can actually do other things like make more money with these things, get traffic. People are looking for traffic. They're looking for money. They're looking for leads, There's might be industry gossip that you want to talk about. If you hear something about a company going out of business or whatever, you can actually write about that, and that'll attract some people. You can talk about important tools that you come across, put it on your blog, and sometimes you can actually even have a little affiliate commission coming, if somebody buys the tool from you when they look at your blog, so you can do different things. You don't have to have it, but if you talk about tools, they're going to come in there, and they're going to be starting to trust you because you're providing them with tools, you're providing them with information. You might have industry news that they don't know about, and you could also talk about what gurus are saying. That's a big thing. It's like some people might not know you, but if you're talking about the guru by association, you know what you're talking about. So there's other sources for ideas. If you run out of ideas, you could always go to Amazon. Oops, I did not mean to do that. And Amazon.com is full of stuff for you to look at. You can actually go and look for network marketing companies. If you don't know a lot of network marketing company names or MLM company names, you could actually do the research there by just looking at different things. You might be able to look for authors that talk about network marketing or MLM and browse those titles. Maybe you can write a review on those books or other books that have to do with personal development or things like that, and attract that kind of people, that mindset of people that are actually trying to do something with their lives so that maybe they want to do something with you. Same thing, you can transfer ideas from what you read, and they might give you an insight or maybe an opinion on something, and you can just write about that. There's other places that you can do that, find other ideas. It's ezinearticles.com. We did that last week, or I don't know. We did some training, and we're going to go over it tonight again. But Ezine Articles it's a very big place to find all kinds of other people, all kinds of other experts that have written articles, and you can just do a little search. Let's say how to unplug a toilet. I'm just coming up with that. Say that there's actually people that have written stuff about that, how to unclog a toilet. And you can literally find information about anything anymore. And, go into places like this, you can actually, read what somebody else wrote, but it'll give you ideas, and maybe you could read 3 or 4 of those, and all of a sudden you came up with an idea of what to write on your blog. Alexa, we've talked about Alexa before, and basically, they have a directory and they have categories for business and opportunity and MLMs and all kinds of other stuff. I'll show you how to do that real quick. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see. Oops. Alexa.com. There we go. And if you go here to top sites, you can actually do a category search, look for businesses, all the things that you can look for. But, opportunities, there's 1,600 different sites that they look into. And then you can network marketing MLM, mail orders, home-based business, all kinds of stuff that you can go and take a look and, maybe, Usana, Melaleuca, there's all kinds of marketing companies out there, and maybe do a little research on them and write a little story about them, or write how they don't talk about how to market online, and maybe they should be doing it. Whatever you want to write about. But these are different places you can actually find ideas on what to write about that day. You could always go to forums. MLM.com right here, the Warrior Forum. They're great research tools. People have questions there. You can go and see what questions they're presenting, and then you can actually create content that answers those questions. That's as simple as that. And that's what you want. You actually want to answer people's questions. I mean, obviously, you are going through a learning curve yourself right now. You can actually write about your learning curve by not necessarily telling somebody that you don't know something, but you don't know something, find the answer, and then write about, this is the question that a lot of people have. Here's the answer. Then you become. That's how you become little by little. You become the guru. It's not something that happens overnight. But as people see you providing good information constantly, every day you come up with something that they had a question about or they weren't sure about, and you're giving them the answers. Guess what? They're going to be attracted to you, and that's what attraction marketing is about. Let's see. We talked about we create content around those ideas that and it's not just about reviews, by the way. You can write all kinds of stuff, how-to articles. How-to it's real big. You can put the top thing. The top 10 best traffic ideas. To your how to get traffic to your blog. 10 of the best ways to get traffic to your blog. Or 10 of the worst things you could ever do in MLM. You can write about that. You can do different things like that. One of the things I mentioned, maybe I mentioned it later here on the training, but I'll mention it to you now. When you're writing these articles in your blog post, you want to actually, on your title, you want to have some kind of number. Believe it or not, a how-to is better than other, how to do this, how to do that. Because think about it. People go to Google to find out how to do stuff, right? They go in there and they type in, how to change a light bulb, how to, change your oil in your car, how to change a tire in your car, how to read your electric meter on your house. They're looking for how-tos and they're asking questions. So when you have a how-to and then an answer, that's what people are wanting to read. So you want to have that, discover how-to, the different words like that attract people to read what you have. And then, of course, having a number on there for some reason, some psychological reason it works. So it could be any number. You can do the top 5 reasons why MLM will not work for you. It's not working for you. The top 7 things you should be doing in order to get fresh leads to talk to every day. You can come up with all kinds of ideas like that, but always put a number on there. Your post articles, they should be between 400 and 700 words every day. The nice thing about it is that you don't have to create these by typing. Some of you guys out there, you just sit in front of the keyboard and you freeze and you can't think of anything. That's why I gave you all these ideas over here to go check them out. Another thing that you can do is, besides going to forums and things like that, if you subscribe to 3 or 4 top marketers' emails, you can go and read their emails every day, 3 or 4 or 5 of those people, and not to follow everything that they're saying, but to get an idea of what they're talking about so that you know what to talk about yourself and create ideas of how to say certain things. It's all about learning, for you right now and putting what you learn to practice. So, part of the 8 commitments is to read every day. Well, why not read other people's, sales letters, email marketing that they're doing, different things like that, and that gets into your head, then you can actually come out and say it out in your own words of what you've learned, and there you go. You got a post. But you can do it other ways. You can actually stand in front of a camera, and talk. A lot of people don't think about that, but you might be able to be a lot better as somebody that speaks what they're saying versus what they're typing what they're saying. And if you can do that, all you have to do is say it out into a video, put it somewhere, like on YouTube, embed it into your blog post, and then have somebody transcribe what you said, and there you go. You got a blog post. It's very simple to, it's the simpler the better, because if you're going to be doing it every day, you want it very simple. So, if you want to set up your camera in a certain place that you can just go in there and just start talking about something that you just learned that day, that works very well. A lot of people do, what they call vlogs, with a V, video blogs. You can do that very easily. But I would say that if you're going to do it, for the long term, it would be nice to have the 1-2 punch. You do the video, you embed the video, and then you have somebody transcribe it, or you transcribe it yourself. You just listen and type it in, and in a half hour you can be done. After you're done with all that and put it on your blog, you want to ping it. Is what they call it. This is not as big of a deal these days as it used to be, but if you ping it out there, unless the search engines know that you've actually put a new blog post on your blog, it just makes it nice to be able to let other people know about it. There's other things that we can do according to that. The nice thing about it is that with Empower Network, it's not as big of a deal as it is in other sites, because Empower Network is such a big site as far as clout in the internet, with the search engines being a top 300 website worldwide, that they get they actually search for new content a lot quicker than they would if you were just at your own little blog. So your stuff will get found quicker, especially once you've been blogging, for a few weeks. Okay, so we talked about creating content, creating a blog that you either typed out or did a video or just talked into a tape recorder and then transcribe it and put it on your blog. What we're going to do now is actually use that same information that you just created and put it in different places. And that's what article directories are for. Article marketing is basically taking the actual blog that you just created and taking it and putting it somewhere else. And the internet is it's huge, but it's very much like real estate. The more real estate you have, the better you are, right? If you're into real estate, same thing. The more places that you can put your content on the internet, the better it is going to be for you. So you are going to want to put into as many article directories what you just did. And yeah, there's tools out there for this. You can search them, whatever. I might do a more advanced training for that later. But right now, all you want to do is actually find 10, 20 different ones that you can put them in. And what you're doing with this, and I'm going to just do a search here, top 10 article directories. And when you go to Google and that's what I do. You can do that very easily yourself. Find some of the top. This one says top 50. I think we talked about this before, but there's eHouse, Quidu, eZines, Hub Pages, Examiner. There's all kinds right here. All you have to do is take the top 10, 20, 50, whatever you want, and join them, and then go back and every time copy and paste basically whatever you created already. That's that simple. Now with article directories, it's a little bit different though than other things. They're a little bit more sticklers because they're article directories. You're supposed to be a little bit more professional if you're posting or if you're publishing your content, right? So they are going to look for misspelled words and things like that. If you have too many of them, they might reject your article, and you might have to reword it or rewrite it. So grammar is important to them, and they actually have people that go over your stuff. So you actually submit it for them to put it on their place on their directory, and it might take anywhere from 4 days to a week, sometimes to 10 days, for them to actually say, okay, because somebody actually is going to read that article. It's no big deal what you do. You just start, every day you put it in there, and if it goes through, fine. If it doesn't, you could either forget about that one or rewrite it and resubmit it. It's not a big deal. It's just that they want people when they're reading it to to make sense out of it. But this is huge. It's actually something that it stays on the internet forever. And what you do is actually you write the article, you put it onto these different article directories, and they allow you this bio section. And you can actually do a very simple bio, like I wrote here, Eli is an expert in blah, 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 to find out more about what he likes to do, or, what he's talking about in this blog and then this article. Click here, and then the link can go back to your money source, which meaning your Empower Network lead capture page, which you can do that directly to the lead capture page, or you can have them go directly to your blog. Either way, it works. You know, obviously, if they go to the blog, they're still going to be able to click on one of those links around your blog. If you send them to a lead capture page, it's going to take them to a lead capture page. Obviously, you want to send them to a lead capture page that has something to do with what you're talking about. So, you know, if you're talking about marketing ideas, then you send them to the one that says something about marketing. If you're talking about how to create more sales on your article, then you send them to, you know, a lead capture page that has to do with more about creating sales for themselves. So that's why we have so many different lead capture pages in the back of your Empower Network. And I'll show you that too in case you haven't seen that before. EmpowerNetwork.com. Let me log in real quick. Log in. And if you go to my tools, these are all the different promoting links that you can use. And each one, not almost every one, is different kind of lead capture page. You know, they can look like that. You know, they can look like this. Do these 3 things to make money every time. You know, if you're talking about money, making money in your thing. The only thing is that when you're writing these articles, there's 2 things to keep in mind. Obviously, we talked about, you know, keeping your grammar as best as possible. The second part is when you're writing these things, you cannot be self-promoting. So you can't write an article about Empower Network and how awesome it is to work with you in Empower Network and expect them to put it up there, because it goes from an article to being an actual advertisement. So when you're doing these things, remember what we said over here. What we want to do is what was the first thing that we talked about here? Create content. No, create content to suit their needs. So we want to know what their problems are, and we're going to try to solve them. So that those posts are not going to be your actual advertising. Those posts are just going to be information that, you know, that you're giving away so that they come back to you. You're going to attract them by giving them a very good article to read. So, you know, when you do that, then they're going to go down to the bottom, you know, and find out who wrote this. And you're going to have your little bio that talks a little bit about yourself and direct them to where you want them to go. That's the place where you actually do your little marketing. So you can talk a little bit about yourself, or you can talk a little bit about whatever you want them to know before they go to the lead capture page. This is, you know, that's basically article marketing 101. It's it. You create articles that people want to read about, and then you have that little area on your signature line where you can actually put a little bit more about yourself and a link for them to go and click on to buy from you, or join your list to get more information from you down the road, maybe buy. Part of the join that list is having an autoresponder, and that's the next step for the business. It's Empower Network they automatically have a way to capture the leads without you having to have an autoresponder. So in the beginning, you don't not have to have one. If you don't have one, no big deal. Just, you know, send them to the lead capture pages. Those leads are going to be captured for you, and they'll get a couple of emails from Empower, but they'll also be able to see the sales page, and that's the main thing that you want them to see anyway. Down the road, you do want to get an autoresponder when you can afford it, but don't get stuck on it. You know, I don't have an autoresponder, I can't do this. You don't need to with Empower Network. But once you do have an autoresponder, you can actually create a list of people that are interested in whatever it is that you're writing about. So that makes it unique in that, you know, maybe 2, 4, 20%, whatever it is that buys from you when they actually find out more information from you by putting the lead capture page information in. The rest of those people don't buy right away. And a lot of people don't buy right away. They actually, it takes them about 5 to 8 times of seeing anything from you in order to trust you enough to buy, to have that, to be able to make that decision to buy. So knowing that, if you have somebody's email and you can send them an email every day with information that they would like to see because it's something that that interested them, and then have a call to action at the bottom of that email to go back to your blog, to go back to a lead capture page. Because they're getting information from you, they're not going to cancel their subscription to your email list, basically, unless they really are not interested. And those people, you don't care. I mean, so, if you end up getting 10 leads because you did a blog post and put your link in a couple of places, and 2 of them go away or 5 of them go away, no big deal. Don't worry about it. Just go out and get more, because those people are not interested and they're never going to buy from you. So those are not the people that you care about. You care about the people that are actually going to stay around and become your follower in the long run, because you keep on giving them good information that they don't know. And believe it or not, you don't need to know a lot. In internet marketing, there is so little that people don't know about anything when they come on board, that you, just by being part of Empower Network, by being part of ImpowerU team, you know more than most. So you can actually just do the little bit of research, that the little tools that we've been giving you so far, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. You can grow with us, because you can actually use, if you go to the quick start trainings and the start here training that we have, and learn a little bit and blog about it, and people, I guarantee you, people are not going to know about what you're writing about because you didn't know. Think about it. I don't know how long you've been doing online business, but think back, whether it's a week or whether it's 10 years. When you first started, you did not know. You didn't know what an autoresponder was, probably. You did not know what a lead capture page was. All those little things that sound like simple things these days, or even how to do a pay-per-click campaign in Facebook. That's even a little more advanced, but people just don't know. So if you know anything, if you know how to, this training that you're going through right now, you'll know more now about article marketing and the little different processes that you have to have in part of your marketing to make it work that nobody else knows. And I'm going to try to paraphrase this all. This sounds like a lot that I'm going through tonight, but it's really not. It's just that I'm giving you step by step, and sometimes step by step looks more than what it really is. So I'll actually paraphrase everything at the end of here. But basically, the autoresponder allows you to contact your list over and over again until they either buy or unsubscribed. That's just it. It's just a way to contact them over and over again. And maybe you don't have something that they are interested in right now, but they like you and they stay around, and then they'll buy from you. Think about this. And this is something I don't know if I've told you that story about how I got to know about David Wood. I knew about David Wood about 2 years before Empower Network was even born. 2 years, and never bought one thing from him for 2 years. And think about that. I mean, that's a long time to be following somebody. But he was creating content and sending out emails, and I didn't read every one of them, but every so often I would stop and read what he had to say that day. And 2 years later, I bought into his program. I went all in at the time, whatever it was, and he actually made money from me 2 years later. But think about all the different people that had been following him, to the tune that he was able to create a business from scratch, from nothing, into $20 million the first year business. That's powerful, So yeah, he was making money along the way, but he wasn't making this kind of money that he's making now out of his list. But that list trusted him. So when they came up with something that made sense to them, bam, they all came together. So that's the power of the list. The list works for you now, and it can work for you many, many years later down the road. Okay, so paraphrase again. You create a content, you put it on your blog, you pigmatic the blog so other people know that the search engines know that you put something on your blog. You're going to take that same content and repurpose the content and put it in article directories. And you're also going to email your list with that same content. And I didn't talk about that. You're going to send that email to your list every day. You can actually use the same article that you're writing for your blog. You send it to your list by form of email. So they're actually getting something from you every day, but you don't have to create something new every day. You can actually just create that same blog post that you put on your blog, send it to your email. Ta-da! All of a sudden you have content that you can use for more than one thing. Well, the same thing here. Down the road, later on that same day, you can just go to put your link to your blog post on your Facebook, and your LinkedIn, or your Twitter, and your Google Plus, and your YouTube. Make a video about it. Tell people on the video, hey, I just made a new blog. Go to my blog. It's PowerNetwork.com/eligonzalez.blog. Whatever, and you can actually do all this stuff and repurpose it. You could do a YouTube video that says the same thing that you have on your blog post. I've even actually seen people when YouTube first started, and I don't see any reason why you can do that now, that you can actually bring up, type up your blog post and sit in front of a camera and just read what you just wrote. There you go. You have a YouTube video. You don't even have to be looking at the camera. You could be just looking at just reading the post on your paper. There you go. It's a video. All of this stuff is just ways for them to get back to you. So, those links, there's all kinds of other social media besides those, the 4 or 5 that I mentioned on here. You can do a bunch more. I mean, there's Pinterest that you can do all kinds of stuff. You can actually, there's people right now that are taking a picture of their desktop of their blog post and putting them on Pinterest with a link back to the blog post. Imagine that. That's simple, isn't it? You're actually putting on Pinterest a picture of your blog post. So it's all you're doing is hitting your print screen, putting it in some software, and you're done. You save it, and you have a picture. So anyway, there's different ways that you can do this, guys, is what I'm trying to get at. You can come up with all kinds of different ingenious ideas if you just put your little mind to it. And all those links, all these places that you're putting your blog post in, that's where your traffic is going to come from in the beginning. Now, Google down the road, they're going to start sending you some traffic for the kind of keywords that you might have. If you want to do SEO, you can. There's all kinds of different ways to do that. But in the beginning, all you want to do is create content and put it out there. Remember BAM. Remember BAM again? Blog, announce, and make money. So if you blog, then you go to Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Google Plus and put out, the link back to your blog. You send out an email to your list that you're creating and tell them, hey, I have something in my blog that you might want to look at. And, before long, you're having people from all these different sources start to come over to your blog, and they do it 2 or 3, 4 days, and they buy. That's that simple. That's what we're doing. So basically, that's what we're doing. You just want to keep on doing that over and over again. It's going to generate a lot of traffic for you down the road. And what you're going to do is track everything that you're doing. Track, when you do articles, you can actually track, where each one of those articles is coming from if you want to get to that point. Like if you're putting articles and e-zine articles and you're putting on another one of those things, one of those directories. What was it that we saw that at? Well, I don't think it's here anymore. But that basically all the different article directories there, just top 50. You can go to e-zine. You put stuff on e-zine mark, and you put stuff on pubarticles.com, and one's giving you a lot of leads or a lot of traffic, and the other one's doing absolutely nothing. Well, you don't have to put anything there anymore. You can spend that extra 2 minutes that it takes you to put the article at Pub Articles. If that's not promoting, then go to Article Snatch, and put something there instead. You can actually do that. There's ways to track that. I'm not going to get into that this time around because it's just way too much information today already. But basically, you can do some of those tracking, in different ways. HyperTracker is one. Bitly is another one. We talked about that already. And like I said, you can find out what your article directories are not producing, and instead of putting articles there, double your articles in the ones that are producing. Okay, so consistency is what's going to create stability for your business. So if you have to do this every day. Every day, put a little bit of work into it. Spread the word. That's what that consistency of work comes back. Greg and I were talking about that today because you see how many sales he's getting at the end of the month, but it's because he's constant with his marketing every single day of the month, several times a day. He's letting people know about his business over and over and over again. Now, not everybody buys right away, and like you can see at the end of the month, you'll have days like this where he's selling 10, 12, 15 sales in one day. But guess what? There's a bunch of days that he is only selling 2 to 5. Why the difference? Why can he sell only 2 in one particular Saturday in the middle of the month or the third week of the month, and then at the end of the month, all of a sudden, he has a day that he sold 12, 15 different ones? It's because that consistency. People see that every single day. And when they're ready to buy, they know where to go. They know that they're going to Greg to buy. You get it? You get it? Right? So if you're not doing it every day, you can't grow your business as quickly as if you are. By the way, don't limit yourself to free. I mean, there's a lot of free stuff that we talk about. And the reason I bring it up is because a lot of people are just starting out. They don't have a lot of money. I understand that. I've been there, done that. And there's other times, that I definitely, had no way to pay for anything. The only way I barely pay for an autoresponder. So I understand that, and I'm giving you things that work. I'm giving you things that will bring you business. Yeah, you're going to put a little bit of time into it right now, but like I said, once you learn how to do something, you could always Google, the tools for whatever you're doing. You're looking for a tool to do something on Facebook. You can find tools. You just got to be careful. Some of the tools out there can get you into trouble. They can put too much stuff out there too quickly, and people can shut your accounts down because they don't like that. They know it's automated. But there is ways to slow that down. Almost a lot of the things out there these days have a way so that you can actually have a tool that auto posts for you. And it'll do it, one every 10 minutes or something like that. So it looks more like a human doing it rather than an automatic thing coming from a computer that, downloads 1,000 different links to Facebook in about a minute and a half. Well, Facebook is not going to like that, is it? Are they? So, but, what I'm trying to get at, there are tools, and, some of them cost money per month for the things you can buy, and it's, it's good for the, for you just own it straight out. What I'm trying to get at is, in the beginning, it's better if you do it yourself. It's always better to learn how to do things, and then you can automate them. And what are you trying to do? Well, you're trying to do something constantly. And I'm not talking about just anything. Do things that we're teaching you here in Empower Network, because we know they work. Don't go out there and every time somebody says, well, this is working over here, and then you go over there and then nothing happens. Why? Well, that person was just trying to sell you something, and they didn't have any success with that either. They're just making success because they're selling tools. We're trying to teach you how to make success here in Empower Network, and whatever you do in the long run. These things that you're learning, they're working now, and they'll work for a very long time to come because they're principles. They're not just doing something that that somebody's trying to do just for right now. Anyway, so then sort of went off on a tangent there. But basically, when you're with the stuff that we're teaching you, it works. Okay. So as you're building this list, and as you're putting more content on your blog posts and things like that, you're going to start creating your success story. And you don't really want to go out there right off the bat and try to tell people your story. You don't have a story yet. If you go out there and tell your story about how how bad you have it right now, or how you're I'm not talking about within our group so much. I mean, if you talk to your upline, if you have problems, maybe they can help you out. But you know, if you go out there and put a blog post or go to Facebook and put a post up on your Facebook talking about how bad of a day you're having because you're not getting any sales, you know, talk about, you know, how you try to use Aweber and it blew up on you, or, you know, how, you know, you're late on your electric bill this month because you're not making enough money. Guess what? Social media has made it very transparent for people to understand where you're at. And if you make it easy for people to know that maybe you're not doing so well, or you're brand new to the business and you just started out, oh, I just started last week, you know, and here we go, you know, or we just started last week and we'll just see whether this is going to be one of those things or not, you know. Guess what? You're going to attract people that are in the same mindset as you, and they're just going to tell you, huh, forget that, you know, I've been there, done that, and I don't want to do that again. So you can't be attracting the wrong kind of people or sending out the wrong message. It's just like a business, you know. It's like, say, a restaurant, you know. How can a restaurant go on Facebook and say, hey, you know, I don't know what's going on. Nobody's coming to our restaurant anymore. And then the next day, well, you know, nobody was coming today, so I don't know. I just, you know, we didn't throw away the milk. We're going to try it tomorrow. You know, maybe it'll be better tomorrow. You know, and save a little bit of money today. Yeah, they wouldn't do that. It's what I'm trying to get at. So you wouldn't sabotage your own business by telling people things that don't make sense to be telling them. And so, you know, when you're creating your story, you're going to not create your story right away. You're going to actually talk about other people's stories. And this is how it works. You talk about other people's success first until you create some of your own success, and you start talking about your success. And then after you're done talking about your success, you stop talking about your success when you have other people that you are bringing on board and they're having success. And then now you start talking about their success again, somebody that you helped. That's going to create your success story. But in the meantime, you know, along the way, you might be able to get some testimonials from some of the people you're helping out. That'll be awesome. You know, share stories and pictures of what you're doing. You know, you go out to eat. You know, I don't know if you noticed that with my Facebook. I have my personal Facebook, and then I have my fan page, which is my business Facebook, and of course we have our team site, our team group. But you know, I don't talk too much about business on my personal, and I don't talk too much personal on my business unless it has something to do with something that I can do with, you know, with that for that day. You know, if it creates a story that I can talk about. But you know, on my personal, you know, if every time I'm having fun, I put stuff up there, I put pictures. You know, we go out to go fishing, I put something on there. I go boating, I put something on there. You know, people are seeing your lifestyle. And if you can do that, then you can do that. You know, if you can't, then, you know, do other things. You know, do positive quotes, do things that are going to attract people to you, so that when you put something on there, hey, I put a blog post on there to help you with blah blah blah, whatever it is that you wrote about that day. People are going to want to click on it because you've been positive. They see that you're having fun. You know, that you're the person that they want to be around. Is what I'm trying to get at. So, you know, you can also post opinions. You know, you see something online, you know, or you see something on business. One of my top blog posts that I put on, and I made some articles about it, was years ago. And at the time, you know, it was I don't know, maybe you've seen that before in your business. They tell you to talk about everybody, you know, within a 3-foot radius. You know, they call it the 3-foot rule. You know, it started 10 foot and then that went down to 3 foot. And like, you know, talking to people within a tighter circle closer to you is better for you. But basically, I said, you know, how the 3-foot rule is going to run you out of business, and I talked about that. It was my opinion about that stupid rule that you're online and you talk to the person behind you or in front of you and say, hey, how you doing? Do you keep your options open, you know? And then, what? I'm here trying to buy something. Leave me alone, you know? So, but that's part of what that mentality of that group that I was learning from was talking about, talking to people in your area around you. And I wrote a blog post, and then I made it into an article, and I spread it all over the place about that. And it's like, it did not make sense to me that people would do that, and how stupid it is, and how much better it would be for people to come to you instead of you going out there and bothering other people around you with what you have to say that they might not be even interested in. So anyway, opinions, reviews we talked about, and of course, there is some things out there. The principle of documentation, basically what it talks about, if you put something in writing, people tend to believe it. So as you're writing your story and things like that, and you're writing stuff, obviously you want to create things that are truthful, but the more people read it, the more true they seem to them, and that's that. If you're talking about your business, or if you're talking about how to do something, that makes it easier for them, if they read it, they absorb it differently than if you tell them. And that's why, blogging is so important, so powerful. And as you're doing all of this stuff, you're going to start attracting the right kind of people to you, the people that are like what you're writing about. Boy, I keep on seeing all these mistakes that I did when I was typing, typos everywhere. So don't talk to me about that later. I don't want anybody emailing me with all the typos that I made on this thing. I know them. I see them once in a while. Anyway, so to recap, when just keep creating content, do that every day. Find a way to get ideas. If you can't think of anything, read other people's stuff. You will get something to write about. If you're a very opinionated person, put your opinions down. Just make sure that you're not repelling too many people. You're attracting the kind of people that you want. And then, do your research. What do prospects want? Just to give you an idea of what the prospect want to hear, what they're looking for. Think about when I went out, and I got started when I was in the middle of network marketing, and I was having a little success, but nobody around me was having any success. These are the things that I was looking for: ways to find more leads, ways to create more money faster with my business, because I was having really good success with my brick and mortar, but it's sapping all my time. So I'm doing this to try to get my time back. What better ways can I do business so that I can get my time back and make the same amount of money or more than I was making with my brick and mortar? I was looking for training that I can give my people, by that I mean my business partners that are coming on board with me on these business ventures that I was doing. I wanted to find out information how they can create quick success. You get what I'm saying? You find out all these questions, that you might have, or maybe somebody else might have had. If you're reading their stuff, you'll know what their problems were, or their ideas that they were trying to find, and write towards that. I don't know how many other ways to say that. That's the easiest way to do that. Do your research by reading other people's things, or or base it on your own experience. What things are bothering you, and find how to fix it, and then write about it. Post whatever you write about in your blog. Ping your blog. Post it on article directories with a link to your money source, which is your lead capture page, or to your actual blog. Either way. Either way is monetized anyway, so that'll work. And then post your link that you have from your blog post. Create an interesting headline. Something that makes sense. Maybe, hopefully, the interesting headline that would be the same as your title. If you title something right, it'll be interesting for them to want to read. You can use that as your headline. Put a picture with it and put it on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media. And you guys know about if you're going to be doing stuff on Facebook, to use social media bar. And I think there's other training on the Fast Start on how to use that. So you can look for that. But the social media bar allows you to to use it, take people right to your URL where your blog post, actual blog post, not just your blog is, without getting into the problems that Facebook and other social media places are having with having way too many people like we have in Empower Network using their resources up. So we're trying to keep that to a minimum. So use social media bar, put an interesting headline and a picture back to your blog post. Those people are it's gonna start creating traffic to your blog post, and that's going to, a percentage of those people are going to click on those links. Or even better yet, when you write your blog post, if at the end of your blog post you write a call to action for them to find out more about what you're doing, want to join you, whatever you want to call it, put a call to action so that they go to a lead capture page of your choice. And they'll click on there, put their information in and watch the video, and some of them will become sales. So that's it. Keep doing it. Become proficient at it. And by what I mean by being proficient, when you're generating all the traffic and make $1, the first dollar you make above what you're spending, you know that it's working, so you semi-automate it. And you can do it yourself. You can buy different tools, or you can use one of these places right here, olddesk.com, Fiverr, guru.com. There's different places where you can actually hire people to do a lot of the work for you, so you don't have to do it. So that's it, my friends. Hopefully you got something out of this tonight. There's a lot of detail in here, but it's basically as simple as doing a little research, creating your post, and then putting your post in different places like article directories, and then putting the link back to your post in social media. And that's it. Greg, what do you think? Hopefully I don't have you blocked off. Let's see, Blake. Greg, I see that he's on still, but he might be blocked. What do you call that? Muted himself by mistake on his own thing. But let me see. Let me go back to the people that are left here. There's a few questions here, so let me see what I can do here for questions, if I can find. The other day I was having a hard time finding the questions until I finally hung up, and then I found everybody's questions. There we go. Okay. Michael Hunt. Let me see the question here. Man, they could make this any smaller than this. Let's see. No, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why they make this so small. I'm trying to make. There we go. I was able to make it bigger so that I could read everybody's questions. Okay. So. Network marketing. That's in Facebook blocked Empower Network. I think I answered that question, Michael. It's basically with Facebook. I'm not sure what happened there. If it was the same thing, the social media places, they're free, and as marketers, we use it as a way to make money, and some of them don't like it, and sometimes. At the same time, when you get such a big company, some people actually take advantage, too much advantage. And yes, basically the Facebook hasn't liked the Empower Network URL. Now you can use that social media bar that I talked to you about, because it masks the EmpowerNetwork.com part of it, so that it doesn't to Facebook it doesn't show up. So you can actually send people still to your blog posts by using social media bar. And that still brings the traffic back to your blog post, even though you're using Facebook. And Facebook, of course, is not the only social media stuff place out there. There's all kinds of places. But if you want to use Facebook, yes, you'll have to use either that or there's other ways to mask the URL, which I wasn't going to get into tonight because there's just too many different little details. That's a training of its own. But like the simplest thing is for you to, and this is actually built as soon as that happened. What's his name? I'll think about it in a second. Socialmediabar.com. And I'm going to take this out of the way. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So, and some of you have seen this already. This actually has a video that explains how to use it. But basically, you're going to give your social media bar a name. So if you actually have a blog post that talks about, say how to get leads. So you can do how-to-get-leads. Maybe you have to give it a number because there's a lot of people using it these days, so maybe that's already taken. But, basically you do whatever you want. If you're talking about weight loss, just like the sample down here. If you're talking about kittens, go ahead and put kittens on it. And then you use the destination URL. So if you go to your blog post, tell you what, let's do this. Whatever. Oh, here we go. This is Ray's place. If you go to a blog post, this snap's not happening. This is the URL for the blog post right there. You take that whole thing, copy it, and you take it to Social Media Bar and you paste it right there. And then you give it a title, and you can give it the same thing, how to get leads, whatever you want to make that. You can put a little description on the page, blog post, by Eli Gonzalez on how to get leads online. Okay, simple like that. And then the image URL is as simple as just going to Google and put I'm just going to put how to get leads, just the same thing that I'm looking for, and then go to images, and find an image that you like, make sure that it doesn't have some kind of a copyright information on it. If it does, then you don't want to use it. But then all you have to do is go to the picture right there, right-click, say copy image URL, go here, put an image URL right there, and then you create the link, and that's it. And what happens is that picture that's on there will show up on Facebook. You know how Facebook is about, if you have an image, it gets, sometimes people like the image more than what you're writing about, and it gets, shared all over the place. Well, along with sharing all over the place that picture, they're also sharing your blog post, and you get more people to go to your blog post because it's been shared. So that's what the important part about that image URL is, finding an image that would actually attract people to want to click on it. Hopefully that answered that question. Let me see if I could oops. Okay, let me bring this over here and try to make it big again so I can read the rest of the questions. Okay. Oh, and you mentioned about YouTube. Michael Hunt actually asked again, why not put a link to your blog on YouTube, on your YouTube video? Same idea. YouTube found that when you have 100,000 marketers using YouTube to put links back to a page to Empower Network, they didn't like that, and so they don't allow it. And you can actually, for some reason, they allow it left and right for all kinds of other companies to use it, and they sell their stuff with it and all kinds. But for some reason, they didn't like Empower Network. I can go into a whole story that I know about YouTube, but basically they don't like it. So what you can do is actually do a video and say the blog post address or just your blog address, If you want, you can actually, if you know how to make a little bit of, use some of the tools for the video, might be able to put a crossbar across, that has your URL that they want it to go to. So that's basically what you would have to do to use YouTube. But there's other places out there you can use that would be fine. There's I can't think of any right now, but I'm sure if you ever can't remember something, do something like this. Websites like YouTube, and somebody will have something on there. If you don't want to use YouTube, 12 websites that are better than YouTube. Check it out. Better than YouTube. TED, Big Think, Atom, Blip TV, 5 minutes, worldwide. There's all kinds of Vimeo, US Stream. There's all kinds of places that you can do things. Remember, guys, like I just said, you're actually, hold on. You're actually, making money from free sites. They get to choose whether they want to allow you to do that or not. So, don't worry about it too much. It's just one of those things that you have to either work around or not use them and use something else. No big deal. Let's see. Why not put let's see. Deanna says, could you post this list on the site? I'm not sure which list, Diana. But like I said, almost every list that you can look it up. If you're looking for places like YouTube, you can do that. If you want to look for article directories, you can just do top article directories. So you can find that out very simple by doing a quick Google search. Oh, Diana, okay. Diana wants the training. I'm actually going to be. Hopefully, this is being recorded. It's I pressed and start recording, so hopefully it's doing it. I have a website. Actually, I'll show you guys what it's going to look like. I just don't know if I have the password on me. For those of you that are part of the inner circle, because obviously this is normally just for the inner circle. People that have upgraded to the inner circle, because you have training in that inner circle that is above the normal stuff, and this is why we have these trainings, because within that, when you hear the stories about some of the leaders, you're going to hear some of the different techniques that they're using, and some of the stuff might be above your head. So that I thought that if we have these trainings, we can actually go step by step, and you'll get the idea of what they're doing. And you got to decide how much you want to do and how much time you have to do. If you don't have time to do all of this in one day, every day, do some of it. Decide where you're going to do article marketing. Well then go ahead and get your 10, 20, or 50 article directories that you're going to post to every day. If you're not going to do that, or you're going to do Facebook, well, find out all the stuff that you can do with Facebook. If you're not doing that and you're doing LinkedIn, get proficient at one of them. Get proficient at one of them, then semi-automate it, and then start using the other. The cool thing about what I've been teaching you the last few days is that you're going to actually be able to, with one blog post, use that and then spend the rest of your time just announcing it, telling people about it. That's the part that's going to make you money. I mean, obviously you got to create it, so you got to blog. But the part that's going to make you money is not the blog. It's the actual announcing and advertising that you created a blog post, and having the information there that people want. So then they're going to trust you, and then they're going to buy from you. That's the 3 or 4 step process that you got to go through. But let me see. teamimpoweru.com/. It should be on here somewhere. Inner circle. And there's nothing in here right now, but it's going to be password protected. I cannot remember the password right now, but when you get on the other side, it's going to be a regular website that's going to have these recordings on there. So I think that might be it. That might be all the questions we had. Let's see. Just wondering, how many of you guys, by putting your hands up, how many of you guys got something out of it, out of this training tonight? There you go, Sakaya, Trent. Thank you very much. And let's see if you guys have any other questions that might come up. Obviously, you can ask them at our team site. But we're going to keep on doing these type of trainings. And Greg, I think this is a good time to tell them about what we were planning on doing. And let me see if I can get Greg real quick, because I wanted him to be part of this. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, is that another question you had, Michael? No, that was the same one you had before. Okay. Hands up. Okay. Oh, Diana, it's just a little handle they have on the little tab on the side. Anyway, but that was it. Let's see. One thing that I wanted to mention, since he hasn't come back, I'm just going to go ahead and mention it. We were going to be doing something special for those people that want and are going to be making all their effort to go to Chicago. That's the first part. I mean, I wanted to be able to, you have no idea how much you're missing by not being able to be there. So if there's anything that you can do to get there, get there. And because of that, those people that get their tickets by, I was going to say midnight Pacific Standard Time tonight, to go and just make the commitment. Go ahead and, I found that a lot of times we just hang around and not make any commitments or actually do what we said we were going to do. And so I'm not giving you too much time, but I know that sometimes you just got to make a decision. Okay, I'm going to do it. Just go ahead and do it. And so you got about 4 hours to decide tonight whether you're going to go or not. If you purchase your things, when I wake up tomorrow first thing in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to go check and see everybody that's done this. You're going to get a 30-minute coaching call with me. And basically, we're going to go over how much time you actually have to do your business, how much just go over the different things that you can do and you can't do, and I'll know by the questions that I'm going to be asking you. And basically, I'm going to guide you to the point that you're going to be able to maximize your time that you're doing, so that you can actually start making money with Empower. That's the main concern that I have for all of you. Start making your first few bucks. Once you have some money in your pocket, your belief system is going to go through the roof. Once you go to this event, your belief system is going to go through the roof, and you're going to be able to talk and blog and to everybody in a different light, and that's gonna create a fire that's not, you can't even believe the difference. I mean, you see other people making money with Empower Network or whatever. It's a whole different story when you actually see your first paycheck. It's the completely different story when you go to an event and you're filled with 5,000 people that are there because literally, when I went there to the last one, to see 95% or more of the room stand up and that they've made money with the company, that changed me. That told me anybody can do this. And the other ones that didn't stand up, they probably just started 2 days ago and they went to the event. Literally, I mean, that's the way that I every time I talk to somebody, I never came across somebody that didn't make any money yet. And we had one, and then she's made money since with our team. And but it was because she was brand new. But while she was there, she got all in because she saw the difference. That this is something that she can do. This is something that is very attainable, and I want you to have that same experience. So, literally, I don't offer my coaching. Besides what I do a little bit on the website. And I just text here and there. To actually have a one-on-one with me, it's just not happening right now. I just don't have the time. but I thought that this is how important it is. And to me, it's worth about $250 to $500 to spend that time with me, to be able for me to be away from my business, my family, and things like that. Believe it or not, that's for my regular business. If I go out and just if I spend 15 minutes in somebody's house, that's the minimum that I charge them is $250. Same thing online, even more so online, because most of the stuff that I do online, what I get back out of the time that I spent doing it, it's amazingly, tenfold. So it's worth a lot. And I'm telling you that if we sit down together and come up with a game plan for you, you're going to be able to do it. And it's out there. If you got whoever buys tickets for that event tonight, we'll be able to get that. Now I have another offer for those of you that want to get all in, and this is a different level of a commitment here. But any one of you that gets all in tonight and goes to the event, so then there's a 1-2 thing here. You buy tickets to the event and get all in. I'm going to give you basically 2 hours of my time in 30-minute increments, because we're going to I want to take you through the setup process, but then also become accountable, and we'll measure where you're at every so many days, or maybe once a week for the next month, to get you going and actually making money. We want the idea behind this is because if I can't train somebody that's not going already. I can't take somebody and more than what we can do that first 30 minutes. But if you actually go all in and you actually have the training that you need to be able to take it to the next level, because you'll have the 15K formula, you'll have the master's training, then we can talk. Then we can actually say, okay, well, I want you to go over this training, by tomorrow night, and then start doing it. And you'll know what to do because you'll have a step-by-step process of what you're doing. And then you'll actually be doing something. If I can get somebody that's committed like that, and they're actually, well, think of a boat. If a boat's sitting there, you can move that rudder left and right, and it doesn't go. It's not going to go anywhere, right? It's just going to sit there. But if you put it under a motor and it starts going, then you can turn, and actually guide that boat to go wherever you want. So that commitment of getting all in is what you need to be able to get there and start moving, so that I can actually have that kind of training, that I'm going to be able to do several trainings with you and actually take you to the next level. So you have that. You got 4 hours to decide. If not, we still love you guys. We love every one of you. This is why we're doing all these other trainings. But there's some of you that want to take it to the next level very quickly, and there's no other way better than getting all in and getting to an event. And and sometimes you have to get to the event just to get all in mentally, never mind monetarily or whatever. And mentally is more important than anything else. Well, guys, it's been a great evening. I can't believe this went about 2 hours. But some of this training had to be done, and you can't just teach it in 20, 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So you guys know what the background is of marketing, how come people are doing this online, not just us promoting the Empower Network, but you believe it or not, you have with Empower Network, you have the ability to learn something that you can actually go out there to small businesses all over the town. And those people will pay you $1,000 a month to do this stuff for them, to do their social media, to do pay-per-click marketing, to attract people to their, and that's worth a lot of money. Think about that. I mean, you can actually create business outside of Empower Network with the training that you're getting here. And that's just part of it. But the reason that people are willing to pay you that much money is because that's the kind of stuff you're learning here, stuff that people don't have, that they want. Now, of course, as you're learning with Empower, you're probably not going to want to go out there and create all this stuff for other people, because you just won't. You'll most likely are here because you want your time back. You want to have the things that you didn't have, with your brick and mortar business or with your employment wherever you're at. And that the biggest thing I think what most people find is that they don't have the time. And if you can actually make the same money working, 4 or 5 hours a day as if you were, working full time for somebody else, most people will take that any day. So, and that's hopefully you find that to be, take it as it is. I'm just trying to put it out there that you guys have what it takes. If you're here tonight, you put 2 hours of your time to listen to this training. For some of you, this is just a refresh course. Some of you, this is an aha moment because you had no idea about all this marketing stuff or even what to do with it. Now you have a plan to be able to do something and some basic techniques to be able to get it to the next level. All of that, it's all part of the learning curve, whether no matter where in that learning curve you're at. To take time and actually be at an event like this tells me something about you. So I definitely, I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. If you can make it to this Chicago event, I'm hoping, that a ton of the people that we're working with in this group are going to be able to make it there and be able to actually spend time together, not just, on these one-way training calls. Well, until next week, just so you know, next week it's going to be, I think, the most powerful of all these free techniques that we're using. I actually learned this, and this is a name that you might not know because or you might know, depending. He's a big-time blogger. I mean, even before Empower Network was around, he's been making, 6 and 7 figures a year just on content. And I learned from him, Rob4, by the way, that's his name. And he's one of the top earners here in Empower Network. And I actually got to spend some time with him at the last event. And then he actually put something on the 15K formula that talked about some of the things that we were talking about. And he uses a lot of SEO, which is search engine marketing type stuff. That basically you look for keywords that people are looking for, and then you write articles according to those keywords, and then you backlink, and it's real complicated, and it's stuff that you don't need to know right now. But basically, he does a lot of that. Well, the problem with that is that it works very well when you're doing the things that Google wants. Well, about a year ago, almost a year ago, well, about a month ago, it was a year ago, Google did one of their updates. I gotta forget if it was Penguin or Panda or whatever it was, and they changed the whole way that they looked at things. And he lost 40% of his business. Boom, gone. 40%. Can you imagine? I mean, it doesn't matter what you're making. You're making $100 a day, and you take off 40%. You're only making 60. It doesn't matter what level you're in. That when that kind of money goes away, you feel it. So he had to find a quick way to get that traffic back, to get that much, so you can actually get that money going. I mean, obviously he wasn't hurting because he has different things going on, but he was able to replace the traffic that he lost from Google changing their way that they do things for sites in a month, in 30 days. Can you imagine somebody that's making 7 figures just on content and being able to replace the traffic that they lost in 30 days, 40% of their traffic? So that's the power that you're going to have for next week if you make it to the training. I think we're going to do it on Wednesday next week. This Wednesday, everybody was busy, so we had to push it back a day. But next Wednesday, if you're not part of the inner circle and you happen to be here tonight because we were able to open it, I made the mistake of putting it on the team site. That mistake won't be made next week. So make sure that you're part of the inner circle for that training next week. With that being said, I'll leave you guys to your evenings with your families, and ta-ta, see you later. Sayonara, nos vemos.